Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from HobbyBoss. And it's quite an interesting one because here we get the TBM-3 Avenger. This is a new toolkit in 1/72 scale, and I think it might be interesting for all aviation fans who do not have space for the bigger scale model, and now they can replicate it in a smaller size, let's say it this way. And what I have here on the table, that's the final shape of the release, so you can get it in any good model shop. And of course, I would like to say thank you for your donations, which made this review actually possible, because some of you were asking for this specific kit to be reviewed, and they were donating a small portion of the price of this kit. So first of all, you can notice that the box art is really beautiful here. I'm not saying it often about the HobbyBoss box arts, but I think here it is quite nice. We also have some information about the kit, that the wingspan will be 229 millimeters and the length will be 171 millimeters, so not a small model. Even for a 1/72 scale, I would say it's quite large. And here you can see also the short history note. We also have one of the marking options. This is actually the first marking option, and on the opposite side you can see also second marking option and what is included here. So we have torpedoes, fuel tanks and bombs as well, and of course the decals and even PE parts are included here. So this is a top opening box, but I guess I need to do it off the table because the fitment of the top lid is a bit tight. And in the meantime, of course, I can remind you that I reviewed some other kits from HobbyBoss as well, so in case you're interested, you know how to find them on the same YouTube channel which you are watching right now. So first of all, on the top of the box we have the small ad brochure. Why I'm showing it? Because some of those kits will be reviewed, so stay tuned. And even here, as you can see, we have the ad for the possible assembly options on this Avenger. So actually it has the folding wings. This is something I didn't know, to be honest. Next we have assembly manual, but I will not be showing it right now. First, I would like to start with the plastic sprues, and they come, each one is packed into the sealed plastic bag, as you can see, so I just need to cut through and then we will be checking it together. And as you might have noticed, on the first bag we have the wing parts included, and I would say they look more or less nice. So just give me a second to open it. Okay. So here is what we have. Maybe I'll open the lenses so that it won't be that bright, and let's zoom in a bit. So now you can see that each wing half, it should be assembled, or wing side if you prefer, it should be assembled out of two halves. And we have really nice surface details, but we have also the wing mechanization pre-molded here, so you won't be able to change much. But overall, the surface details, they look rather nice. So I guess it's time to zoom in and show you in detail what we actually have here. So as you can see, we have the recessed panel lines, we have also the raised panels, just like on the real aircraft, and we have the rivets in place. Also note the cut in this area. It is made exactly by the folding line, so this is quite smart. And here you can take a look at the external features of the lower wing half. So again, we have the flaps and ailerons pre-molded, unfortunately, but at least we have also some attachment points for the bombs and some external equipment. And by the way, note that we also have here the cutout for the positioning lights. This might be handy for installing the clear parts. I really hope that these lights are actually replicated with the clear parts, not with some other weird method. And that's what we will check right now, because the next plastic bag is actually coming with the clear frame. So just give me a second. I will open it, and maybe let's flip over the sprue, because here, as you can see, we have also some features for the main wheel wells. We also have large guiding elements, so overall this design looks rather nice, especially considering that you get all of this stuff, including the folding wings, out of the box. You don't have to buy anything extra. So here you can see how the clear sprue is packed. So this is somewhat traditional for HobbyBoss, and I think it works because parts arrive to you intact, they are not scratched, and this is very important in aircraft with such large canopy as this one. So I will just zoom in. And as you can see, we have the turret cupola as a single piece part. We have also the canopy made in the same style, and also we have here the lenses for the position lights. So everything looks really great. The only thing is that you won't get the masks here. Even the masking templates are not included. This is traditional for HobbyBoss, and I would recommend to get the proper masking sheet, because this will make your work a bit easier. and it will actually help you to focus on more important stuff than just cutting the stickers for the clear parts. In my opinion, it's worth it. So especially on such complex canopy styles, just like on this aircraft. Next, we continue with the sprue, which is coming with a mix of parts. It's a sprue B. I was trying to find the letter, and I will zoom out so that you can understand what we are talking about here. So first of all, those are the wing root parts, as you can see, the top and the bottom. We have also here the tail wings, and I wonder if the tail wings are actually, yes, they are molded as a single piece part with elevators. This is rather interesting design. And here you can also see some parts for the cockpit. And for the cockpit, I think it's worth checking the opposite side, because as you saw, we have a lot of pre-molded features, and the same goes for the wing roots. And if I zoom in, now you can see what I'm talking about here. So for 1/72 scale, I think this is really great attention to the details on this aircraft. I don't know if they are up to the scale, or let's say up to the drawings of the real aircraft. I do not have a chance to cross-check it, because I don't have such drawings, obviously, so this is something what I will not be commenting, but to me they look rather nice, and I hope that the fitment will be also good, because, well, the latest HobbyBoss kits are quite okay in this sense, from what I know, so I hope this one does not break this tradition. But next we continue with the sprue E, and here you can see another pair of the wing parts, and as you remember, this is because we have the folded wings assembly option included in the kit, and here we have the one with the retracted wings, and that's why we have it without this cut in the wing folding area. So this is quite a smart decision, because this way you get the more solid look, and as you can see, it's not as prominent as on the folded wings. Obviously the same design solution for the guiding lights and also or position lights, and the same solution inside for the main wheel wells and for the position pins. So overall it looks nice and tidy, and I think for this scale such guiding elements are still useful, even though some might argue that this is a small scale aircraft, it should be easy to combine parts together, but no, it is not, because the wingspan is rather large, so I would rather prefer to have some helping elements included. Next we continue here with the fuselage halves, and this one is quite interesting because both fuselage halves are molded together with the tail fin and also with the rudder, while the cowling part, as you can see here, it is molded as a single piece part, so this is really great. I'm saying it always with any scale or any aircraft in different scales, it's always better to have the cowling as a one-piece part, because this way you do not get any weird seams and gaps in the visible areas, or at least just do the parts division in the panel lines according to the panel lines, and this will also help you to get the nice result. If you wonder how the external features look on the fuselage, so here is the closer look, and well, again, it's recessed panel lines, rivets, everything is present here, and looks good. Here you can see also the one-piece propeller. Here we have the instrument panel and also the front firewall. Here you can take a closer look at the cowling. And maybe let's flip over the fuselage, because inside, surprisingly, we have a lot of features. As you can see, the whole internal structure is molded, and I think it's done because well, the interior should be rather visible thanks to the large canopy and also the turret installed onto this aircraft, so that's why it is very useful to get it out of the box. And of course it will also require some time to properly paint and weather it, so that the final result will be more or less convincing. And believe me, even considering that here you are not able to open the canopy, it's still plenty of open space on the finished model, so that the internals will be visible. Here we continue with the external equipment. So as you remember, we have torpedo, we have several types of the bombs, and we also have the fuel tanks. All of this stuff comes as the standard bonus, so you don't have to buy them separately as some other brands do it. And well, the molding quality looks fine. I would say this is somewhat standard for what you get or what you expect from the standard kit bonus. And this is not said in a bad sense, because, well, I would rather prefer to have them molded this way than not to have them at all. And here you can check also them from the opposite side. We have the guiding pins, we have also really thin attachment points. In some cases they are going onto the edges, so it's better to cut it parallel to the plane of the sprue, but this is something what you will figure while working with the sprue, so just do not hurry, take a careful look at the parts and you should be completely alright. Next we continue with the sprue, which is again wrapped into the foam, and I guess that's done due to the thin parts present here, but I wonder how I can open it and remove it, because I can see the engine parts there, and I also can see some parts for the folding wings. So just give me a second. I'll probably cut the sticky tape, because otherwise I'll end up with broken parts, which we do not want to have here, and it will be easier to unwrap it and show what is supplied here. So here is the sprue. This section was completely wrapped into the film and or foam, and as you can see we have thin landing gear legs. We also have some parts for the wing roots or folded wings, and maybe that's why it was decided to have it wrapped into the foam in order to avoid any accidental breakages. Engine is rather simple, but still nice that it is included. It should be barely visible on the finished aircraft as far as I remember, so it should be sufficient for the 1/72 scale build. And in case you wonder how it looks closer, so here is the closer look. And here is another part which will be used for the engine. And this is the bomb bay cover. And I guess it can be also assembled in the open position, so you use the different parts. And if we flip it over here, you can check them from the opposite side. Okay. And let's zoom out so that you can take a look at the parts, at all parts from the opposite side. So I can see on the bottom of the box a nice surprise. But first let me show you the PE parts, because those are also somewhat unusual in some kits, even today. And I think they will be useful for the final result on your model, so just give me a second. Here it is. Unpainted PE fret. So we have here some parts for the external features. We also have some parts for the machine gun target side, as you can see. And well, those parts are tiny. You can see it in comparison with my thumb. So definitely have some tweezers which will help you with the alignment of those parts on the model. And of course you have to use the CA glue. So this is classic approach for such parts and such material. So there is nothing unusual. And I'm opening another sealed plastic bag which carries the nice surprise which I already mentioned. So this is the mask sheet. So as you can see, it's not pre-cut, but this is something we can live with. It's still very nice that we get the masks for the complex canopy on this aircraft, and I think with some due care you can get a very good paintwork, and this way you won't have to spend money on some extra add-ons from some other brands. So essentially you get all of the necessary extras in the kit, so it's just a matter of assembling the model. And now I'm trying to open the decals, because the backing paper here is actually taped to the decal sheet, and that's why it is tricky to open it a bit. But I will do it in a bit sneaky way. Okay, so it's opened, and here you can see the decal sheet. Maybe let's close the lenses a bit so that you can see the white symbols as well. I will just pick it up so that they can angle it on the light, and this way you will be able to see more. We have some cockpit decals, and we also have plenty of stencils in the lower section. So there are two marking options, as you remember, and overall it looks rather nice. And well, with the stencils the only tip is not to hurry, because otherwise you might end up losing those tiny writings. But that's not all. We have the assembly manual, as you remember, and here I will just zoom out a bit, maybe close the lenses even. So on the first page we have some safety tips, and we have the marking guide printed in color. So this is quite a nice surprise. I already forgot that HobbyBoss does it this way. And here you can see that it's more or less poster with a side profile and top and bottom view of the one marking option, and here's the second marking option. What is good is there are completely different camouflages. Of course, this traditional navy blue is included here, but we also get this one with the yellow line on the coding, so this is also quite nice. And assembly process starts with the cockpit and the engine. So here it is very important to plan in advance what should be painted. before installing onto the aircraft, because later it will be very difficult to reach it. And do not forget that the cockpit is very, let's say, visible on the finished aircraft. Here you can see some steps of joining the fuselage half, but if it is easy to see all of these internals, it's maybe worth investing a bit of more time into proper weathering and maybe proper paint work on these parts. So as I was saying, you can open or close the bomb bay. You can also install the fuel tanks. Here we continue with the wings assembly, so do not forget to decide whether you would like to folded wings or unfolded wings. So here we continue with the landing gear, and then we also have the fuel tanks installed, antennas, and here we have the cowling with an engine. So again, the wing routes choice will depend whether you have the folded wings or not. Here we have the masks application guides, and next, on the final stage, you have the tail leg, or its main landing gear leg installation, and also here we have some parts for the folded wing position. So overall assembly does not look complex, it's just the amount of the possible opportunities to improve the model is really nice, even though the original plastic, even if you assemble out of the box, should do great. And this kit should be already available, as I already said, so if you have something to say about this aircraft, write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.